Sean Tobin is the founder and managing director of Mobile One Community Services, located in Moncton, New Brunswick. Mobile One is the first soup kitchen on wheels in Atlantic Canada. It's a city bus that has been renovated into a 1950s diner, and just like any city bus, it stops at scheduled locations around the city 6 days a week. Tobin was retired when he was called in to work for a job he says you have to love to be in. But Tobin says the volunteers are really the driving force behind Mobile One.
It's really the volunteers who run this thing. I mean, I control it like an orchestra director, but it's really the volunteers who give up their time and come out and help their fellow men. I mean, if we didn't have the volunteers, we couldn't make this thing run.
Mobile One Community Services doesn't just include a soup kitchen on wheels. It also operates a mobile pantry system that is essentially a food bank on wheels. Tobin is regional director of 23 food banks and has tried to create a standard registration form for food bank clients to make the process as simple as possible.
In 1991, when I was burned out of my house in a Great West End fire, which tore down 11 houses, for the first time in my life I had to go in a food bank because I had 3 sons and my nephew living with me at the time. I knew that there had to be a process, and I know what it's like to have to go to a food bank every month, and it's not the greatest of experiences. And I remember my first experience personally. I mean, I remember that I was made to feel less than an inch tall because I had to go on this food bank. But in my case, it was I'm a father with 4 boys, and I have to get those boys ready to go back to school in 1 month's time, and I don't have a stick of food in my house. So put up, shut up, and give me the food. But they put me through a whole ringer process, and I swore that if ever, and at that time I wasn't involved in food banks, but I said if ever any day I ever become involved in a food bank, I will make the process simple. So as a regional director, and I have been elected a regional director, we have gone and developed a standard registration form that all 23 of our food banks, and not soup kitchens, but our food banks can use. And it's exactly the same, so that if you are in Moncton, or you're in Riverview, or you're in Memramcook, or you're in Cap-Palais, it's exactly the same form that you're going to sign, exactly the same information that's going to be asked. And we basically made the process as simple as we possibly could, because we know it's anybody going to a food bank, the first thing they do is feel embarrassment, and you have to get beyond that. You have to assure them that all we require is this information and no more than that.
For more information on Mobile One, visit www.mobileonemoncton.ca.